Originally we did a lot of framing timber. We're now doing a lot of sort of high-end internal fit-out material, floorboards, that sort of thing.
At his workshop in southern Tasmania, sawmiller Matt Terenius relies on a steady supply of native timber.
If I don't have logs coming into the yard, what do I do with the workers that I've got in the green room?
He fears his business will be under threat from the middle of next year, when native forest logging will be subject to national environment standards for the first time.
Well, we could potentially see a large decrease in the available saw logs that we're able to process. Now, at some point, that gets to the point where it becomes unviable to run the business.
The new rules passed federal parliament last year as part of a deal struck between the government and the Greens.
When we came to government, we promised we would reform Australia's broken environmental laws. Today we deliver that promise.
It's a blow to the native forest logging industry, a significant blow that should hasten the end of the native forest logging industry in Australia.
As of July 2027, state governments will need to ensure all new native logging projects comply with the environmental standards before they are approved. But those standards are still being worked out.
We sit in the middle trying to run a business, trying to keep people employed and not knowing really where we're going to stand in 18 months' time. It's really a case of the government saying, trust us, and you know, we've been around in the forestry industry long enough to know that you sort of have to take that with a grain of salt.
We are hugely frustrated. This is no way to treat communities. This is no way to regulate important industries in our country.
I can understand that people want to have some certainty around these standards, and we're actively working on them with industry, with governments, with the community right now. I've had a lot to do with the forestry industry over the years, including previous roles that I've held. They've always made the point that they are very confident about the environmental standards that they meet, and if that's the case, they shouldn't be concerned about these changes either. Tasmanians are rightly proud of...
Federal Environment Minister Murray Watt has already made trips to Tasmania and New South Wales to assure the forestry sector that they won't be crippled by the new regime, and hose down fears it could lead to increased legal action.
We don't expect that this is going to open up coup by coup litigation in the way that some people are concerned about. What these changes really are about is ensuring that state government processes around regional forestry agreements meet the national environmental standards.
Some environmental groups say they're concerned the laws won't result in any real change.
If the Act was to apply to logging to mean that the logging industry would need to have a process where the community can get involved and comment on what logging is proposed, we might have some hope. However, what we're concerned about is that the logging industry always gets its way. It always has the ear of the politicians to allow them to continue to log.
Over the decades, logging of native forests has caused huge division in Tasmania. But while bans are in place in Western Australia and Victoria, the Tasmanian government is a big supporter of the industry and has vowed to fight if the new system does not work as it hopes.
If a legitimate business is shut down by a decision of government through no fault of their own, then those businesses should be compensated. But that's a hypothetical at this stage.
Commercial agreements between Tasmania's government-owned forestry company and the industry guaranteeing a certain amount of native timber end next year. New contract negotiations are underway, but environmentalists say they should be paused until the new standards are finalised.
How can we possibly be moving to lock in these contracts when we have so much regulatory uncertainty, market uncertainty? We don't know if these contracts will be viable, and taxpayers may be up for hundreds of millions of dollars in payouts when the supply cannot be fulfilled.
Look, I think that the negotiations should continue and should be resolved as quickly as possible. We can't just live in no man's land, so to speak.
In the meantime, the anxious wait for the new environmental standards continues.
We are out in the forests and we are going to be remaining in the forests, making sure that the protection of forests is paramount. And until the Labor Party catches up, we will keep defending those forests.
The industry is a lot smaller than what it was, but it still provides a very important cog in the wheel of manufacturing within the state. And I think it would be a shame to see that disappear.